This is WBSM On Demand.
It's morning in America. It's morning in America, right? Look at the election results. It is absolutely amazing. You know, folks, nobody has ever been harassed more than Donald Trump. Now, if you're a real American, you're going to recognize what your friends and neighbors did on Election Day. And you're going to accept the election result. Now, if you're not, then you're going to expose yourself for us all to realize that you're really not down with the republic, right? You really aren't bought in, that you're a revolutionary. And we're going to have to single you out. Now, if you have recently arrived here in the country as an illegal alien, you need to surrender, okay? You need to surrender. You need to go down and surrender and say, please deport me, okay? Now, we're going to do something here in America, right, that we haven't done since Eisenhower. We are going to deport massive amounts of people. Now, you have known that before the election. So when you voted in favor of massive deportations, okay? Now, everybody is an individual, but we don't have time for that, all right? If you came in the country illegally, you got to go. You got to surrender, and we're going to need a lot of people, volunteers, professionals, to help with this process, all right? The kicking out of illegal aliens. Does somebody get to stay who's an illegal alien? I think they have to be like unbelievably valuable to the nation, right? Like Elon Musk, as an example, is an immigrant. He came here legally. Many of you are immigrants to this country, or your parents immigrated to this country, and you came here legally. We're not talking about you. We're not talking about your parents who came here legally. But remember, there are quotas. There used to be laws on this that were followed. There are people waiting in other countries that want to be in this country, and we want them here, who have been put on the sidelines to let the chaos of Biden-Harris, of the Democrat Party, into the country, right? That is over. The illegals have to go. You have to go. And we're not going to be asking much longer. If you know an illegal alien, tell him to surrender. Tell him to surrender. Get ready. You're leaving, right? You're going wherever you came from. You're going back. If you came here from Ireland, you're going back. Sell your sunscreen, you're going home. You're going back to Ireland, right? Same thing with the English, right? If you're an illegal alien from Germany, you're going home. Get out. We don't want you anymore. You broke the law. We don't want you anymore. If you came here from Colombia, Nicaragua, whatever, you're going home. You're going home. So go down and surrender. It's time to surrender. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, Chris. You know, what happened, as we all know, was an ultimatum by the American people. They want change. And it's the best thing to happen to the Democratic Party, because I hope now they have a reason now to purge their party from these radicals.
Yep.
They have a reason. They have an actual legitimate reason. They can say, no longer. Your voice will no longer be heard in this party. We are a party of the American people. I want compromise. I want the Democratic Party to come back again, because we need two-party system. And I have to applaud the Republicans. I heard one of the lead Republicans, I think from North Dakota, saying yesterday on News Nation, which I like to say, News Nation, I encourage people to watch the station. They were a half hour before anybody else. They were on it, half hour. They called for Trump a half hour before any other news station. Okay, and they were right on. And everything that they said about the analysis, they went through this group that's a well-known group, and They call them like the geek nerds of like elections, and these guys were on the money from every single district in that country. It was amazing. But anyway, going back to what we're talking about, he already said we are not going to get rid of the filibuster.
Right.
We need that in our Constitution. Now, remember that. Do you think if the Democrats were in power, you think they'll be doing that? I don't think so. That's the problem. We need the filibuster. I want them to get a majority, at least 60 or 58 people total, at least 6 or 7 Democrats from the other side of the Senate to come over. We need that. We need compromise. And when I hear the top of the news hour, the ACLU already saying that Trump's a threat, shut up. No, I'm serious. You are causing division in our country. He hasn't done nothing yet. He's still trying to put a cabinet together. Give us a reason first. Shut up, ACLU. Okay? You're dividing this country. You're hurting us. Okay? We have made the decision. Popular vote, 5 million more and plus. They're still counting. They still count 5 million plus over.
Right.
There's no excuse, the Electoral College. Now, Kennedy be the best thing, okay, for our food. Okay, I just spoke to an acquaintance of mine. Again, I hate hearing this, okay? 47-year-old, breast cancer. Breast cancer in women is skyrocketing, and they're leaking into the food, Chris.
Yeah.
And I know this for a fact. Cereal, I read everything. I used to love honeycomb, bioengineered. I don't touch it now. Cereal is cancer in a box. I eat no more cereal. Okay, this is crazy. This has to stop. He showed how in Europe, so many ingredients. You look at Little Debbie, Red 40, a carcinogen, proven to give you cancer. Proven. And they got it, but not in Europe.
No, not in Europe.
Canada.
Not in Europe. If you go to Europe, actually, thanks for the call, my friend. If you go to Europe, I've been there, the cranberry juice is clear. They don't let them use dye in the cranberry juice. We do here. I think that, look, if you read the New Bedford Light, you can see who the stormtroopers of the left wing are. They name themselves. That's why I really love the New Bedford Light, because they do some in-depth articles, and you got to read it all the way through to really understand what's going on. Don't just take their editorial spin on it, right? But 508-996-0500. It's a new day here in America. It really is. And by the way, it always is kind of, right? After an election, there's a new sense of renewal. But I think you've got to be very careful about the next round of elections, right? It's not just enough to participate now and go away, because the hard left is literally preparing to do battle in the courtrooms and maybe outside the courtrooms with the Trump administration, your democratically elected administration. Right? And they plan on using taxpayer dollars to do it. So you got to pay attention. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, my friend.
What's happening?
Well, what happened about the polls? The polls had everything close. Should we ever believe a poll again? I don't know.
So here's the thing. If you if you look at some of the stuff, a lot of people, how did I hear it put? The news industry wants to make things a horse race. And they knew that she was a goner from the beginning. The first time she opens her mouth, you realize back in 2019, she had to drop out of her own presidential primaries because nobody appreciated her, thought she was a good candidate. So I knew
back
she
to the
yeah.
polls. Are the news supposed to print the truth? We're not getting the truth. You're laughing, huh?
Yeah,
You're laughing.
Come on. They want to keep it going.
Again, for example, when I listen to you, I'm looking for, your version of the truth,
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. I don't ever cite polls. No, I never do. You don't see me citing polls. I never talk really about the polls because I never trust them. Unless I've conducted them. I did a lot of polling for Scott Lang when he ran in 2005. So I knew those were good. We did voter ID contact, all that stuff. I knew those were good. In fact, I used to talk to Gig every night. She used to joke around saying, I got to talk to Chris before, and before the night's over, because I would give her the skinny on what was happening in the election. I knew those were good, but if I don't do it myself, I don't trust them.
Well, do you think the Democrats have to do a major workover of what their platform will
Absolutely.
be? Because I think if they don't, they'll become irrelevant, and even for Bernie Sanders to call him out and say, you forgot about the guy that made you, the working man,
right?
That's the problem, and and he's a socialist. Okay.
Yes.
And he's telling them that. So I think the Democrats really have to look at themselves. By the way, on another issue coming local,
yes.
Did you get your sign in Ward 1 or what? Did the mayor finally relent and say, here's your sign or what?
So that's not how he operates, you know that. But
I know. He never wants to admit that he messed up. But I'll tell you, he could offer Boston some help because I've had the TV on, and William Francis Galvin is very upset that Boston didn't have enough, one of the areas of Boston didn't have enough ballots to give out. He said it was incompetence. Okay, so maybe Boston ought to call John Mitchell and ask him how to run a decent election and have all the ballots there.
So I can give him the report that the mayor had drafted on his elections office.
I hope it's not 1,000 pages. That's all. Yeah.
No, it's a reasonable report, and it had some quality suggestions. Best of all, they were followed. So I think they were this time in New Bedford. So we got a good election, and I'm proud of everybody that participated in it, and really proud of this audience for never giving up on it.
Well, again, if Boston wants to learn how to run a decent election, they ought to come down here to New Bedford, and we can teach them how to run an election in which you have all the ballots given out. I'll tell you, William Francis Galvin was really upset. He said it was just incompetence. That's what he called it. You know, he's pretty much on the ball. He looks like the guy that you'd meet on an afternoon down at the end of the bar every time, even when he's dressed up and everything. But he's really on the ball, the guy. And
he's very sharp.
He was really angry.
When he was in the legislature as a state rep from Boston, he was known as the Prince of Darkness, and he was the ultimate dime dropper. From what I hear, I wasn't around. They said you could hear him coming down the hallway because he had so many dimes in his pocket to use the payphone. That's how far back it goes to call the media, right, to talk to people.
Well, the poor guy, no matter how much he dresses up, he never looks like he's ready to go to church. Put it that way, that sort of stuff. Right. But again, this is should be a wake up call for the Democrats. Certainly, they're not in line with the people that they get their authority from, and being democratic, and they've got to get more with the common person who feels that, hey, it's the economy. Stupid is another part of it. Right. And yes, we can't have a country if people are just coming in here unvetted and just let them all in. And I think the Democrats really got to do some soul searching as to what their platform is going to be. And again, did you notice how the gang there? What do they call it?
The squad.
The squad, yeah. You notice how they were kind of, in the background in the run-up to this election?
Right.
They got to tell them to back off. I always thought Joe Biden, when he got in there, would be a mitigating force and to have him back off a bit. But he seems to go right along with him. But again, he's not there.
He's a weak man. He's a weak man.
Well, here's the other question I have, though. Trump seems to be Trump now, but in 4 years, I don't see him being like Joe Biden. But
he's on the ballot. He won't be on the ballot in 4 years.
No, but I mean, at the end of his term, will he be the same man?
Nobody is.
What?
Nobody is.
Yeah, but at that age, that I really have a problem with these older gentlemen or women, okay, running for office at that particular age. There's a greater chance of you not being what you were. It could happen to a guy that would be Obama's age, let's face it. But I think the chances for that are less. If you could tell somebody like your former co-host, Mr. Farrow, that he can't run for president until he's 35 years old, I think they should look into making sure we don't have a president, male or female, that's going into old age, and it's the president of the United States that has to make big decisions. I guess they're managed, but the Democrats found out it wasn't a good look with Joe when he had that first debate with Trump, and he looked like he was out and out of space someplace.
No, I agree with you, but here's the thing. It's up to thanks for the call, as always, my friend. It's up to the voters to determine that, right? And we're never going to change the Constitution. We might, but it'll be a long way down the road. So I think it's really up to the voters. And by the way, your opponent has to point out that you're a Meshuggah or whatever it is, right? And that's why I really don't think it's out of the question when I brought up on the air that Kamala Harris demonstrated a lack of leadership when she didn't implement the 25th Amendment way back months ago, and that I think it's still possible that she'll implement the 25th Amendment to remove Joe Biden to step in, because I don't think Joe Biden is up for the job. I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought he was for a couple of years now. Really, I'm talking about physically, not because I disagree with him on the issues, but because, and I think Kamala Harris would have gotten elected president had she demonstrated that leadership, which is constitutionally only her prerogative as the vice president. But she probably won't, and then that'll prove to now pronouncing her name, the loser, right? The loser. Good morning. Thanks for holding you on the air.
Yeah, who funded Antifa during all these riots a few years back?
You tell me.
Well, that's why I'm asking you.
I know we've been told that it was George Soros.
George Soros.
Yeah.
And there was other monies, too.
Oh, tons of money came in from all the foundations.
From other people. Yeah.
Kamala Harris was raising money.
Are those same people going to fund are they going to be funding Antifa again?
The question. No, here's the thing. The same group, the Open Society Foundation, which is Soros, they were the ones who funded part of the Question 5 in conjunction with some other, basically mainstream Democrats who funded Question 5, which would have really decimated the restaurant industry. So they are still very much alive. Mike Jansen, how would you like to see Shane Burgo as the city council president? What do you think of that?
Who's he running against?
We don't know yet. We don't know who stepped up. That's
what
funny.
I want to know. I like the kid. I like him. A good guy. Hey, get into a New Bedford issue here.
Okay.
Are you aware that there was a shooting outside the South End police station where a guy that was was arrested 4 days ago and let out on bail, and he went and he put 18 shots on the police station as a bus was stopped and kids were getting off the bus.
No, I didn't know that. What day did that happen?
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. I didn't know that, Mike. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, what happened? What's going on with the media? And they don't want people to know what with the shootings. And every day there's been, 18, 20 shots fired throughout the city. Now we got a guy shooting at the South End police station.
So I don't know. That's the first time hearing about it, Mike. I really appreciate you telling me.
You got to ask these people. Where's the news people? Where are the people that are? The mayor's office is supposed to be releasing that information, but no.
They shot the police station at the South End. You talking about the brand new one or the old one?
No. Went out and shot it while at daytime, 4:00, just before 4, when a school bus was letting kids out right in front of the police station yesterday at 4.
That seems like a profoundly political act, right? Shooting up a police station is a revolutionary act.
Well, the guy was arrested. No, this is gang people. This is my.
What I'm saying is they're trying to intimidate the police department. That's how I would take it. Or is he just a bad shot?
No, he's just lost his mind probably.
Right. Okay.
And they let him out. I mean, they got him, but they don't have him. They got his car that he came with, but they're still looking for him. They don't have him. All they know is who he is, and so now he's out in the community. Who knows if he's still in New Bedford or if he took off somewhere.
Right.
But they got his car. They know who he is, and they were running him down this morning trying to find him.
That's a good. I appreciate that, Mike. That's an amazing story. Mike's generally not wrong about that stuff. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. True, summer is out of reach, but every season has its own pleasures, right? Its own festivals and its own rituals, and we've got Thanksgiving coming up. We've got Christmas coming up, and I know you want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it, and I don't want to have any hassles. That's why I'll be doing my Christmas shopping at Carter's Clothing and Footwear. Clothes that fit your South Coast lifestyle, owned and operated since 1947, right? You see the malls going out of business and people, chain stores disappearing. Not Carter's Clothing and Footwear. That's why you can get a gift certificate from there. That's what the Lang family does. You can, and give it to a friend with confidence, right? Give it to a family member with confidence. Head over to Carter's Clothing and Footwear. They got 2 locations for you, one in Fall River and one in downtown New Bedford. Both locations have free parking. Both locations have really friendly, helpful customer service. Both locations have all the best name brand clothing at prices you can't find anywhere else. That's why I shop at Carter's Clothing and Footwear. Visit Carter's today. They are open 7 days a week, extended hours on the hallways, on the holidays, right? They've got free parking, like I said, at both locations. Oftentimes, you'll find the owners right on premise. Kevin Carter, I see him all the time when I go there. So they've got everything you need for, if like Scott Lang says, if Carter's doesn't have it, you don't need it. Carter's Clothing and Footwear. They'll clothe you from head to toe and take care of your Christmas needs, right? You can have confidence when you give a Christmas present from Carter's Clothing and Footwear. If it doesn't fit, they'll be there. They've been there since 1947. They'll be able to take care of all the after-servicing with Christmas gifts, right? 508-996-0500. Good morning. Thanks for holding. Hello, you're on the air. Bob, go ahead.
Hey, Chris.
You're on the air.
Can you hear me? Okay, yeah, Chris, I was just calling in to say what a great turnout it was in Fairhaven on Election Day. Over 9,500 voters out of 13. Just a fabulous day of people coming and going at the rec center.
And that's here in Fairhaven. Bob, the election results were really good for the Republican Party in the Fairhaven and really all over Bristol and Plymouth County. Talk a little bit about that.
I can see that we were making a difference, and as much as sometimes I might get discouraged being out in front of the rec center there for 13 hours on Election Day with our Fairhaven Republican Town Committee banner and all the other yard signs and posters for the various Republican candidates made a big difference, and we got a huge response. I just kept saying that was the happy corner of the street. So many beeps and people stopping by. One thing a little bit disturbing that I hope will change was some of the older folks with the thumbs up or the nod, almost afraid to say that I voted for him, whoever our particular candidate was, or Donald Trump. And, I think people will be encouraged with a little bit of motivation now, seeing that we won this bigger race. So many down ballot races of people that I helped with their campaign and have been persistent, like Justin Thurber down there in the 6th Bristol District. That was his second run. He didn't give up. And we're going to continue to field candidates for every single office. We'll take a day here to a victory lap, but the fight continues and we're moving forward.
Bob, if someone was for the first time ever voting for the Republican Party and wants to get more involved, how do they do that?
Well, on the 12th at 6 p.m., 32 Abbey Street is our next meeting. I just put the agenda out today, and everybody's welcome to attend that meeting to get involved. Right now, our big issue is this 42R and the special town meeting. There's a precinct meeting on the 14th, and then the special town meeting on the 19th. At our meeting Tuesday, Rick Trapello hopefully will speak on the 42R and give people a little bit more information. But as you've been saying, all politics is local. There are local issues. There are bigger issues. But, we're working them all and addressing them all. Just a minute ago, you were talking about immigration and massive deportation.
Right.
I served on the ICE team at the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department under Joseph McDonald over there for 8 years, starting in 2014 until the summer of 2023. And the genesis of my duties and what we were doing out there really changed. In the beginning, we were spending a lot of time with street apprehensions and courtroom time. It takes so long and costs so much money to do.
Great, your phone broke up. No doubt about it, Sheriff McDonald of Plymouth County has been a mainstay, like Tom Hodgson, right? So we got to protect them. you voters in Plymouth County need to rally behind your sheriff because he's going to be the next target. No doubt about it. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Hey,
Hey, Bob. Continue.
Yeah.
So you said how much it costs to deport these people.
Right. Like we'll be talking to somebody all the way from the jail to the courthouse in perfect English, but when we get there, they now need an interpreter from some obscure language. That's just part of it. But I think that the solution is going to be a de-incentivization that you're going to need to verify your status before becoming employed, this illegal alien driver's license, the giveaway on housing, and so many other things. That's what's going to turn this immigration thing around. I know how difficult it is just to deport one person. We even had people that needed to be driven out onto the runway with F-Troop state police barracks there at the Logan Airport and put them actually on the back of the airplane to get rid of one person. And that involved multiple agencies. And
that's because how dangerous they are. That's how dangerous they are.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And these people I was in immigration court with, they weren't just people that had come here illegally. I never even saw any of them. I never even put handcuffs on any of those people. This was people with decades of criminal activity. We would sit in the courtroom with them. Sometimes their families would be out front, hear their stories, some of them very compelling. But as you flip through their criminal record, it was just astonishing. Literally decades of criminal activity to finally end up here and to have some debate whether or not they should go back was just unbelievable. I don't think a mass deportation is going to work out very well, and it's going to cost us so much money. I think that de-incentivization of them being here and coming here illegally is what's going to work. Like you were saying, encouraging people to check in, get going, get started.
Right.
At least you got your foot in the door to have some status. But, they just changed the law, and near the end of our rotation there on ice, they said we were the ATD team. Okay, what's that? Alternative to detention. And I keep telling this story, but we dropped so many people off at Pine Street Inn, South Station, Logan Airport, and I would say to my partner, they're going to need services by the time the sun goes down. Police, fire, EMS, probably all three. So, thank you for the time, Chris.
Thanks for the call, Bob. Bob McConnell from the Republican State Committee, in Fairhaven Town Committee. So it has to be an all-of-government approach, right? That is how bad the Democrats screwed it up by opening the border and importing all of these people. That's how bad they screwed it up, okay? And you guys know that. That's why you rebelled. And for the first time in a long time, this area went for Republicans, right? Because the Democrats have screwed it up so badly by not only importing all these people, but subsidizing them. By the way, the subsidization of illegal aliens continues to this day in Massachusetts. Just because Trump won the election, he doesn't take power until January. And the governor yesterday held a press conference saying they're going to resist the Trump administration. It's absolutely outrageous. But the Democrats in Massachusetts, now, they're going to have an opportunity to make a decision. I'm looking at you, New Bedford City Council. Are you going to continue subsidizing the illegal alien industrial complex? I'm looking at you, state legislators, right? Remember, the architect of illegal alien driver's licenses was Bill Strauss of Mattapoisett. He's the one. Without Bill Strauss, illegal aliens wouldn't have driver's licenses, right? When I get in an Uber and I'm talking to the people, right? Many of them are immigrants, but you don't know now, are they an illegal immigrant who got a driver's license from Bill Strauss in Massachusetts? Or are they a legitimate immigrant, right, who waited for years and then got here? So I told you the story. I had a kid from Cape Verde, right? Great guy, we're talking, right? It was right before the Trump assassination attempt. And he said to me, hey, I waited for like 10 years to come to America. He's 30 years old. That's a kid to me now. So he said, don't tell me they're going to start shooting the American leaders now, right? That's not the way it's going to go. And he's being serious. And I said to him, no, I don't think it's going to be that way. Of course, I didn't know about the second attempt that was coming. Otherwise, I would have called the president, right? But the point being is that you have illegal aliens many of them who cut the line, whereas you have people waiting in Cape Verde for 10 years to get to America. Those people can't get here because other people jumped the line. And they jumped the line, and then we're embracing them with illegal alien driver's licenses, right? Giving them jobs. So you take away all those incentives. Take away the illegal alien driver's license privilege. Take it away. Don't let them work. And you'll find out, take away the welfare, you'll find out the criminals will rise to the top. Their own community will give them up, right? And then we can round them up. Now, you local Democrats, I don't want you to join the un-American opposition here. Don't get stupid. Do not join the opposition. And they're going to be in the streets. Remember, I was talking with an elected official this morning, reminding him that the Democrats and the radical left were burning cars in 2016 in Washington when Donald Trump was inaugurated. And I've got enough friends on the left who share information with me to know that there is, right now, groups that are organizing to burn cities again. That's what they're going to do in opposition to Donald Trump. Don't be stupid. Don't join that. For the love of Christ, don't join that if you believe in Christ. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. I guess I am. Here I go alone. All right. White Snake, everybody. So 508-996-0500. So what I understand is that the police station was, think of how crazy this is, right? Inadvertently shot. They fired 13 or so rounds down by the police station in New Bedford. Only 3 of those rounds hit the station. It wasn't like, and with Mike Jansen, I asked, that seems like a revolutionary act. It wasn't. It was just an act of stupidity, obviously, but dangerous, right? Firing guns, and they accidentally hit the police station. They were looking for, they hit somebody else. Now, the New Bedford police arrested 2 people, but I don't believe they got the actual shooter, but that'll work itself out. It's not being concealed. I mean, it is, it's out there. It has been reported by the news. But there's so much news these days, right? With the election and all of that stuff, but we're still waiting on details. So sometimes I miss stories like that. But many of us miss them. But I will tell you that is crazy, right? That someone's firing that many rounds on a city street. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. They're going to have to get that under control. Now, if you're a young man or a woman that's looking for some adventure, I couldn't more highly recommend getting into law enforcement, particularly for the city of New Bedford, because what is going on over there really needs taming, right? You need to tame these people. Someone firing a gun, they're all young men, okay? Firing these guns, 13 rounds, 3 of them hit the police station. So that's how Officer LeVar got hit in the face, right? Some indiscriminate firing of a weapon in a densely settled area. That's why it was so outrageous that someone with an AR-15 was firing it in Blue Meadow, right? It's not, I mean, it's bad enough that they're firing at somebody else. That's a homicide, potentially. But the unintended consequences, we talk about unintended consequences of the city council's votes, right? Unintended consequences of firing a gun, an illegal gun, by the way. None of these people are in the NRA, all right? Illegally firing a gun on the streets of New Bedford in a residential, doesn't matter if it's a business district, but any sort of an area of a city, firing a handgun. I mean, it's really outrageous. And here's the thing. You can pass all the anti-gun laws you want. You're never going to get to the target of the chaos until you start locking people up until they've matured, quite frankly, into their 30s and realized what a mistake they've made, right? If someone is so stupid, so reckless. They're going to take a handgun or a rifle and fire it on city streets, an illegal gun with an obliterated serial number. They got to go. They cannot be trusted to live amongst us. Now, here's the problem. People ask me, what can the Democrats do? Well, they can stop standing up for those type of people, right? They can stop standing up for the people that fire guns illegally on the streets of our communities. They could stop defending the illegal aliens. They could stop importing the illegal aliens. 508-996-0500. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
No?
Yes, sir. You're on the air.
No, good. Yeah, no, you just picked up Chris. Quick, Chris. It's Don in Stoughton.
Hey, Don.
Yeah, regarding the situation with the shooting and that there.
Yeah.
We don't know what happens to these criminals after they go through the court system. There's no documentation. You know, the police make the arrest. It was officer so-and-so, charged with such and such, prosecutor so-and-so, judge so-and-so. Jury got the verdict and found them guilty. Judge then sentenced XYZ. We don't know what goes on. Unless you go through the court documents, we'll never know. They used to report it in the newspaper. They don't do that anymore. So, Chris, the problem is we don't know how these people are to be punished.
Right. Right, Don. I think that, again, someone could put together a nonprofit and start following these court cases. That is something the public would really appreciate. Someone,
accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Accountability.
That's all right under the Fifth Amendment of the Massachusetts body of civil rights. We have accountability. We have to know where our tax dollars are being spent. We have the right to know that. And yet the governor, the general court, and the courts refuse to tell us.
Well, here's the thing. You get the media like me here. I do my best with my little corner of the world. The state legislature, for instance, has given away. They're actually not even. The governor won't even list where they're spending these billions of dollars. It's really outrageous.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, no,
that's the beauty of
corruption.
our state of emergency.
There you go. What state of emergency would ever have allowed FDR not to report how much money was needed to fight the war? Is that a damn state of emergency? Yes or no? What do you got, Governor Healy?
Right. And here's the thing. She had time. Thanks for the call, Don. Governor Healy, during a state of emergency, found the time to go to New Hampshire to campaign for a friend of hers, another Democrat, running for governor, right? Who lost, obviously, because one of the people in New Hampshire, one of the campaign slogans for the Republicans was don't mass up, meaning don't mess up, but don't mass up Massachusetts-ized New Hampshire, right? So the governor says we're under a state of emergency, but she has the time to leave the state to go campaigning for Kamala Harris and for candidates in New Hampshire. I mean, it's really outrageous. And again, many of you voted for Governor Healy. I hate to say it, I did too. Stick around, we'll be right back. Found out in what it was like to lose something, right? Like half the country, really, and we got it back. Hopefully, we can keep it, right? A republic, if you can keep it. With the re-election of Donald Trump, we erased the stain of the Biden-Harris administration. A guy walking into walls is not going to keep us safe, right? We should never repeat that again, right? It's, as Ann Coulter likes to say, it's not safe to vote Democrat. And America realized what they had lost, and they got it back. 508-996-0500. Good morning. Thank you for holding.
Chris, good morning. So
What's
I'm catching
happening?
you at the end of the show. So I caught part of your show, part of your thing, and the gentleman that just called about, deportation and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, like Trump said, he's going to start with the criminals. It's
Right.
and people, by them, they're bringing all these illegals in. It's going to cost so much money. And I mean, the resources that we're already paying for them now with housing and food and everything else, you know, by him getting them out of here, the criminals, that's what he says. But you're not going to be able to get rid of them all out of here. So let's be real. But I mean, we always need immigrants to come here. Like, we're all immigrants, right? So to make this country, because they're going to do the.
I'm not an immigrant.
I'm not either. But you know, what I'm saying, we're all at some point down the line, bloodline, we're immigrants. But what I'm saying is, we're going to need those people that do the jobs that some people just don't want to do. I mean, realistically, you know, I'm in the fish business, and there's a lot of people that don't want to do this kind of job. You know what I mean? And people are going to want to do the job. So I'm a realist. You know, I listen to all three shows. I call into all three shows so I can get a perspective on with Tim and you and with Barry. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm just on one side. So I'm trying to be a realist and try to get open-minded to other people's ideas.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I mean, so when you're doing all these things, and Maura Healey, I want her to be held accountable, because when Trump starts doing this deportation with ICE and whatever other federal agencies he's going to have to do, whatever, open the checkbook and try to get this situation straightened out.
Right.
And she's already saying, I think she was on. I forget what news network. I think it was NBC.
She held a press conference.
Oh, okay, was that what it was? I didn't get to see it. I got different words from a different station I listened to. Also, you know, in the morning, I switched from you guys to another, and I bounced around. So when I heard that, I'm like, I hope he holds her accountable for it. And what did she say? Did she actually say that she's going to fight it if he tries to do any of that?
So she's been fighting him since she was the attorney general. She's the one attorney general sued him the most. So there's no reason she's going to stop doing that. And here's the danger. All the criminals who are in other states are going to come to Massachusetts, because Governor Healey is the one who's advertising she's going to protect them from the deportation.
Well, you know what? And then she's breaking the law and arrested, like another radio station host said. You know what? I want to see that happen. If she does, arrest her ass.
It's all about the U.S. attorney. No, it's all right. Thank you for calling, my friend. It's all about the U.S. attorney. We have to have now, Tom Hodge is not a lawyer, okay? But he certainly understands the type of attorney general that we need here in Massachusetts, the U.S. attorney. So I think it's going to be a lot on Tom Hodgson's shoulders to select the next U.S. attorney for appointment by President Trump. I think Tom Hodgson's going to do that for us, so it should be the man who does that. I know Elizabeth Warren has a say, but I don't think our colleagues trust her anymore. Since the last appointed U.S. attorney was Rachel Rollins, appointed at the demand of Ed Markey and Presley and Warren, okay? So I think it's going to be Tom Hodgson making the selection for the next U.S. attorney. So reach out and ask Tom Hodgson if you want to be the next U.S. attorney. Or you can ask me. I talk to him quite frequently. Anyway, folks, I need you to stick around for Bill O'Reilly, then Barry Richard. You know, Barry's having a great time with the selection. Why not, right? Had it gone otherwise, well, it would have been the end of the Republic, I think. But we've got some open phone lines, so if you want to speak with Barry, get on hold now, 508-996-0500. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow, folks. God love you. God bless America. I'll be back tomorrow.